Okay, so part two, where were we? Okay, so, right, the alternator, 45 amps, original. They usually don't wear out because they're very low powered. If you replace the alternator, by default, the auto parts store is going to give you a 55 amp alternator, and that's fine. You don't really use a lot of power in this kind of car, though. What else? Yeah, you can install a radio, of course, right? That's on you. Front speakers, I think it's 6.5 inch circle speakers, if you want to do that, right? And yeah, on a lot of these cars, the speedometer cable breaks. The inside of the speedometer cable breaks just like on a motorcycle. So be aware of that. If this needle doesn't work, it's because it's probably more likely the cable that runs behind the dash and to the back of the transfer case is broken. That's a very common problem. What else? Oh yeah, in the fuse box, make sure you take all the fuses out of the fuse box. Download the Samurai PDF manual from somewhere online, and reinstall all the fuses in its right place, the right amperage, preferably with new fuses, right? Because yeah, some of these cars get these weird electrical gremlins. Like mine's, consistently, my wiper sometimes works and sometimes doesn't work. I mean, it's no big deal really, but it's kind of annoying, right? So it is what it is, I guess. And in the back, it's up to you if you want to do that. But a lot of people buy adapter plates for the back of the tailgate, and you can install rear speakers. And then you simply run like what I do is I just use trailer wiring from the auto parts store and just run that along the base and the bottom, and then you hook it up to the back of the radio, and then you got 4 speakers. What else? Yeah, make sure you clean out and maybe bondo and modify all these rust spots on the back of the chassis because it's always rusting out. This is a real bad example, so so you have that going. What else? This is actually the original soft top, so I can't believe it's still working, but I never bothered to change it. So you got that going, and like that guy said, that if you lift up this car, right, and strictly it was only a body lift, that's kind of not a good thing, because if you just do a body lift, strictly speaking, what's going to happen is you're supposed to get a double jointed drive line, because a drive line doesn't tolerate very much of an angle. It's supposed to be pretty much straight. So anytime you do a body lift, you should replace the drive lines and get double jointed drive lines, right? And inclusive in the front of the car, and also you might want to look into replacing the pitman arm and some of the steering linkages to compensate for that body lift. So you can look up, go to low range off road, go to the suspension section, and they got all kinds of ideas for you. Even gives you a little chart, like the higher you go, this is what you're going to need. So I mean, you do your research. I'm not a lift kind of guy, so but that's what I would recommend. And that's about it. Okay, so that's about it for right now. So I hope this helps someone or anyone, because as you probably know, there's just not too many videos on Samurais and any tips, tricks, cheat sheets, stuff like that. So I've had this car since 2012, I believe, and it's 2017, and it really hasn't given me too many problems. Just your regular maintenance stuff and some Samurai gremlins. You just get used to it, I guess. One last thing here, behind this wheel is another weak spot of the Samurai. You'll take this wheel off, you'll take the drums off. The parking brake lever sometimes get rusty. You want to oil it up with anti-rust. And behind that is the drive shaft, right? Well, anyway, the weak spot of that is called the rear wheel bearing. All right, so when that wears out, what's going to happen is it's going to start wobbling, and then the rear seal can't hold back the differential oil that's in the rear differential. It's going to start leaking out of that seal and gets into your drums, your brakes, and it's going to start making a big mess on the floor. So once you start seeing that, that's your telltale sign that you're going to need a rear wheel bearing. And it's usually on the driver's side, this side. Of course, the other side might fail, but usually it's this side that's going to fail first. Mainly because the drive shaft is longer, which makes it more susceptible to wobbling. And wobble causes the oil leakage. So you can look, you can do research on that. Long Range Off-Road sells that wheel bearing as well. So that's it for today. Bye bye.